Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Sammons, and in each episode, we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we're joined by Isobel Lepist, founder of At the Millpond, where she works as an ADHD coach and neuro-exclusive workplace consultant. With a background in HR and a passion for creating environments where neurodivergent individuals can thrive, Isobel blends one-to-one coaching with organizational consulting to drive meaningful change. Isobel, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me. I'm excited to dive in. So, with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning of their journey. So, can you maybe take me back to what it was that you was doing before you started up at the Millpond, and then from there, what motivated you to start up the company?
Yes, so I have a background, it's about, I think, in the workplace, corporate environment, about 25, 30 years. So just prior to setting up the company, I was working in global logistics and previously had managed global teams. So I worked in the HR function, previously back in recruitment and then in talent acquisition, consulting services, people related projects, that sort of thing. And my last venture was people data analytics. So that was quite interesting. So quite a few different things, very different to what I actually started out as, which was a creative. But then I also tap into that with the writing, but we'll come to that.
Yeah, very much so. A lot of corporate background experience that you can really
Yes.
draw on as you move into the entrepreneur space because they are quite
Yes.
different,
Mm.
jumping from one to the other. And then, as you say, a background helping you with the brand side of things and moving forward from there. Who would you say is your ideal customer? So who do you love to work with? And then off the back of that, how is it you help them and what services you provide?
I don't have a preferred client type. I just find everybody fascinating. And I think my intention, because I'm female, I'm over 50, I'm late diagnosed, I felt that perhaps I would resonate most strongly with that demographic. But that's evolved. I coach individuals who are also not neurodiverse, as well as individuals with ADHD and other neurodivergence, such as accompanied by autism, like
Mm,
myself. So varied clients, I call them. But I think the majority are generally individuals who are in full-time education, struggling, and in work, looking to be able to function and achieve more. So it can range very much from an individual who's really struggling to get out of bed in the morning
yeah.
to somebody who's looking to submit their thesis for their MA or improve how they navigate the corporate world to get on, advance their
Yeah.
career.
I think that's the one thing with neurodiversity, ADHD, and autism thrown in there is that everyone's different. Everyone's symptoms are different. Everyone
Yeah.
struggles differently. Everyone runs through their lives different, and it really shows when it comes to that. So, what would you say is probably the biggest challenge or the biggest struggle that people tend to come to you with?
Emotional dysregulation, which is then the precursor to overwhelm, paralysis, decision
Mm,
paralysis, and then also with motivation around procrastination. So those two combinations can be quite common, that dysregulation or experiencing intense painful emotions can
mm.
then influence and determine and dictate how everything else pans out. So lots of ADHD symptoms will overlap, but that one can be the big determining factor of how your executive function is affected overall. It's not just necessarily the intensity of the emotion either, it's the how long the wave can take to subside, the recovery time as well, which can be quite debilitating and prevent people from being able to get stuff done and
Yeah,
live well.
yeah, 100%. So, how long, typically, when people come to you, how long is the program? How long would you spend with them on a one-to-one basis, or is there a group option as well off the back of that?
I do one-on-one coaching only for
Okay.
now. That's my primary and core service offering and it's a program, and it's a 12-week program, and it's based on the ADHD Works program that was designed by Leanne Maskell.
Mm,
And that is a framework that focuses on executive function and very specific skills. So it's about helping develop skills to improve executive function, which are heavily impeded or impaired by ADHD symptoms such as impulsivity, inattentiveness, lack of focus, being not motivated, so managing time,
yeah.
the concept of time, even being able to see things through, focus, regulate their emotions. So from the day one, it's really, or week one, it's a self-awareness journey. So it's about, people think I'm self-aware, but they're not necessarily aware of how much or what it is about their ADHD or combined with autism is the influencing factor that's causing a challenge or making things more difficult. And it's helping individuals come to terms with that and identify that. So I have also studied, researched into the neuroscience as well to help people understand as well, to help with the explanation of why things are perhaps the way that they are. Because a lot of people punish themselves for, oh, I'm rubbish, I can't do this, why can't I be like them? And have a nice, neat and tidy linear career progression and neat and tidy life. There are very strong reasons neurodevelopmentally of why that is. The individual can then learn to be kinder to themselves and learn or adapt and adopt, if you like, develop strategies themselves, or the coaching role is for me to help them develop these strategies to improve their executive function, manage their symptoms so that they can then really be more of an authentic self rather than a masked performing self, which then would lead to burnout, which,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I like the way that you say to help manage the symptoms, and because it's not all about covering them up or, as you say, to completely allow them to disappear, because that involves burnout when you mask 100% of the
Yes.
time. It's so hard to control and so hard to really bring yourself to do things. And then the other half of the ADHD as well is and neurodiversity is it's the spiraling that happens. As you say, you're comparing yourself all the time, and as soon as one thing goes wrong, it's almost as if that train continues and continues, and then suddenly you can't get out of bed. And as you say, it's about managing and just realizing that it's okay to do what you want to do and that you're doing fine is always the hardest thing I find with my ADHD in general.
Yeah, yes. And I think it's about what's acceptable and okay. I have a floor drobe and a chair drobe, and I'm okay with that. There's no moral precept.
Mm,
It's not a reflection of your moral fiber. If
yeah,
certain things about your life are perhaps not the norm or compliant with what society demands, as long as you are able to fulfill your potential and enjoy life without harming yourself mentally or physically, then certain things work a certain way for you. And I think that is also part of that journey of self-acceptance, that certain things won't work in the way that you think that they should. They just work in a different
exactly that.
way. And it's finding the pathway to that way.
Yeah, 100%. And just knowing that it's okay to, it's not being different, it's just you. Like that at the end of
Yes,
the day,
yes,
you're just being
yes.
yourself. And that's one thing I know you said you was diagnosed later on in life. I was slightly too. And that was one big realization for me was it was like, oh, it's okay. I am like that. That's fine. And it's just, okay, I stop worrying now. I'm not different. It's cool. I know who I am. And that's the biggest
Yeah,
thing. I think the biggest challenge overcoming sometimes with the ADHD. So I do want to dive a little bit into the nuts and bolts of the business.
yeah.
So, how are you currently acquiring your customers? What is working well for you in terms of like marketing? What channels and methods are you finding most effective at the moment?
Several, actually. I am very present on LinkedIn. I also have quite a large personal community network, and just going into the phase, if you like, because I am still in year one of
Okay.
more advertising and outreach. I also have testimonials and referrals. So I do have individuals who refer, so psychotherapists, other individuals who've had the coaching have referred people on. So
Yeah.
it's a combination. I don't think one should rely on any one
Okay.
platform. I suppose my largest network is my global corporate network that I have on LinkedIn. So that's where I started, and it does yield inquiries and clients. But the personal network and the referrals, I think that is now something I'm starting to see really work and yield
Cool.
those inquiries. Yeah.
Yeah, as you say, like within the first year, it's always great to build up that referral network and
Yes,
really get the
yes.
testimonials in, establish
Mm.
yourself, make sure the rapport's there on the front end and that you're really
Yeah.
like delivering the product as well. So that's really cool to see. You did mention that, are you running any form of paid ads across online or is it mainly just organic outreach at the
It's
moment?
at the moment it's mainly organic. I mean, I do have a website at the moment. I think that's one of the areas that I'm looking at to leverage much more, and also securing some assistance and support, third party help with that. And I think that's one of the challenges. I don't know if you wanted to cover some of the challenges of being a
Yeah.
solopreneur, I think they call it now, entrepreneur, is that you also have to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
And as an ADHD, I have tons and tons of ideas, and but you're not always able to execute them all,
Mhm.
perhaps what you're meant to do. but you just can't do them.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. There are also skills required, technical skills, resources required, and you find if you devise a strategy, that's all well and good. It's just well, juggling so many different things and
Yep.
maintaining the presence on things like the LinkedIn. It's keeping lots of plates spinning, which I, as an ADHDer, particularly find very difficult because I can only, whilst I'll have a gazillion ideas and creative ideas, and I've got all of these things, it can be extremely frustrating because I can only do one
Yeah.
at a time, and that is not conducive to developing. I know this,
Yeah.
and that I actually have to constantly personally develop and learn skills to be able to be very adaptable and flexible and be able to maintain lots and lots of streams
Yeah. Very
daily.
much. Yeah, I agree.
And also I have to be very patient because the work that you put in April might think, oh, nothing's happening, but it pays you back in September. All of that work is consequential. Your actions are consequential, finding they're of value. And I think that can also be very difficult as being somebody that's founded a business by yourself, is that you don't always feel the payoff. And for an ADHD, you need to feel the payoff. You need to have
Yeah.
that dopamine. You need to feel it. And it can feel very disheartening when you work and work and work and nothing's happening. I love my coaching. I feel very passionate about it, but it's not all about coaching. That is one element of the business. The rest of the business is the branding, like you say, the outreach, the presence, and letting people know that you're there and having something to say and getting it out there in an appropriate way and leveraging multiple channels.
Yeah.
It's hard, it's exhausting, and you're constantly thinking, I'm not doing enough. It's not hyperachiever, is one of my saboteurs, if you like.
Saboteurs
uh,
and I would say strengths as well because it drives
yes,
you on. So
it does, but it can also have there's
yeah.
a dark side, isn't
Yeah.
there? And it's often tips over. And I think it's a bit like when individuals who are in an organization, you're part of a team. And I think as a leader, you can feel, and when you've got a team, if nobody else is doing the same role as you, it can be quite lonely.
Yeah. It's yeah.
They say lonely up at the top, but I report into people to say, oh, how are you getting on? But it's not quite the same as at the moment. I'm just one person.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not
yeah,
having a colleague or having a team to rely on or fall back on. You are responsible for yourself. So it's as much as you love
absolutely.
your job and you love what you do, there's other things that you have to learn and you have to do as a founder that
Yeah,
you don't
no,
necessarily think of. And it's also with neurodivergence. I mean, it's founders and coaches I speak to in general. It's like just because you love helping people, or even
yeah,
if you're a fitness coach and you love fitness, doesn't mean you know how to sell. Doesn't mean you know how to
you're
go and
absolutely
customers. It
right.
doesn't mean you know
Yeah.
how to do your accounting. It's just managing all of that on top of it. And with ADHD, the overwhelm, I can imagine your position is a lot higher maybe than someone else's
Mm.
because of that effect on top. And so are you running sales calls as well then, obviously being a solopreneur at the moment?
When you say sales call,
So once you've brought on board a customer, do you run any form of selling? So what is that side? What does that side
yes.
look like?
So I will have an inquiry, and they usually individuals are quite vulnerable sometimes,
Yeah.
fragile, and they may be quite tentative, and it might have taken them a long time
Mm,
to take that step. So it's often by either a message or an email, and then we will have a discovery call. So an introductory or discovery call. And that is the opportunity to learn more about them. And if you are able to work together, it's a dynamic, it's a relationship, a coaching dynamic. So you also need to ensure that it's the right time, because often
yeah.
some people are, for example, I've had a situation where a client was hoping for coaching, but they had substance abuse problem that
Gotcha.
came out, and it was like we had to look at the priorities there and really how
Yeah.
fit, because there is a safeguarding element here to make sure people are safe and that you're not going to do any
100%.
harm. So we agreed that we would contact again later. But coming back to the discovery call, that is the opportunity for them to really experience coaching
Mm,
and to understand the value of it. So really by the end of the call, what you're finding is their reason not to go ahead rather than to go ahead. They experience it. We talk about what's going on in their life at the moment, what their primary challenges are, how would they like their life to change, what would they like to be different, and often they have a burning topic
yeah.
that's on their mind, and we will coach through it. And so far that has been, I think, out of, if we're going to give it a percentage, 90 or 90, most of them. I
Very
think
good.
yeah.
Nice. It's
So
it's
Yeah,
good to build the rapport on the front end. As you say,
I
like
think it's
people,
so important,
yeah, and
the
people
trust.
trust is great, and people also aren't always open to coaching. So you have to make sure it's a good fit on both ends, that they're willing to
That's correct.
and ready to put the work in and ready to do, as you say, and other
Mm,
issues coming up and out of the woodworks you may not necessarily anticipate coming into that. So it's very
that's
important to
right.
do, which is really good and great that you've got good numbers coming off for that as well. Show you're doing something right. So in terms of the goals, how far do you want to take this? Are you looking to scale the business? Have you got any revenue targets or milestones you're looking forward to achieving in the next 12 months?
They're not revenue targets specifically. I think it's about,
Okay.
because we're not shifting units here, but it's about awareness and delivering the programs. So I think
Nice.
at this stage, it's about reputational, developing my reputation as an
Mm,
advocate and thought leader and expert, as well as a coach. So my primary focus at the moment is that quality of the coaching experience and being able to generate the referrals and get the testimonials. I think I am one person, and to be responsible, there's only so much capacity that I have. So, in terms of scaling, at the moment, I'm focusing on ensuring that the fundamentals of my business are rock solid, high
yeah.
quality, before looking at, I want to do this many programs in this space of time, or I'm going to hire this many people. So, I'm at that stage because my corporate experience has taught me that in many cases, the focus has been on the North Star, grow your business. We want
Yeah.
to double our business. And the foundations are shaky and things are going on top and on top. I'm taking my time, if you like, to make sure that I'm getting things right. I also have found, Olivia, that things have evolved as well. And that has come from the clients themselves. So I ask for feedback. I look at how I can enhance and improve the program, and also look at what their needs are. So I think that's been interesting, in that you also need to make sure that the services that you're delivering are what people want and need. So extra services are coming about, in that the accountability buddy and peer support has
Mm,
become more of an element to these post program. So when the client has finished their program, many of them are looking to continue and are continuing with their coaching, and I will tailor a bespoke package for them with
nice.
a combination of accountability buddy and the peer support. So just as an example, where somebody's got a big project or studies, they need a bit more than coaching. They need that, it's not so much like a personal virtual assistant, but that peer support to
Yeah.
get things done, help schedule, and be that person that I hold them to account. And it
Yeah.
helps them with their goals, objectives, milestones, because there is somebody there to check in and that they've
I agree.
needed that and requested that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's great because it is again part of the drama. You never know as ADHD how you're gonna wake up in the morning, I feel is my thing. So
yeah.
it's like having just a little someone there in your pocket that you can just help motivate you every now and again when you need it. I really love that. And Isabel, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can the listeners reach out to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do
So
so?
I have a website and they can contact me via that. That's www.atthemillpond.co.uk. I'm on LinkedIn. If you look me up, Isobel Lepist. Everything is on there, along with the email and the website. They can email me, message me. So those are my primary routes to contact
Amazing.
me.
Amazing. So at themillpot.com or .co.uk?
.co.uk.
Amazing, perfect. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you are really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep climbing and we will see you on the next one.